Hi guys, let me explain what I'm getting ready to do with all of this. We're getting ready to make us some batter. Yes, some batter. And I make it every Friday. But if I had some left from last Friday, I would have used that. But I'm just making a whole new batch for today. So, you've seen the seasonings. And, okay, now let's do this. This is 2 cups of flour. For every cup of flour I use 1 tablespoon and a half teaspoon of cornstarch. So I have 2 cups of flour, so that'll be 2 tablespoons and 2 teaspoons of cornstarch in here. And if you notice, there's no salt up here because all of these has salt in it. So when it comes to these, I made a mistake one time and used a tablespoon of each up in here, and that mess was so salty. I said, ooh, So I ended up having to throw my good shrimp and batter away because it was too salty. So now I just use a half a teaspoon of each. And I'm going to divide this after I get everything all mixed in. And because I'm going to do a dry and a wet for my shrimp, because I'm only doing shrimp today. Usually I do shrimp and fish Fridays, but not today, it's just shrimp. Because I want to do like a do-it-yourself Popeyes biscuit and shrimp combo. So that's what I'm working on now. But anyway, I'm also going to use for the wet liquid. I'm going to make me a seafood broth or stock to go in. Instead of using water, I'm going to use my broth like I always do. So these are the shells that I peel, from my shrimp. And I'm going to add a little water and some seasonings. Only these seasonings up here, but not a lot in there with this. And I'm going to make the broth. And when I make my seafood broth, I only let it simmer maybe 30 to 45 minutes. That's it. Okay, so let me get my broth going and I will be back. Alrighty. So we're having, like I said, a dry batter and a wet batter. So see guys, here we go. You don't need a lot, just a little. So now I'm getting ready to put it on the stove, bring it up to a boil, then reduce it down to a simmer and let it go, like I said, between 30, 40, 45 at the most, because I want all those flavors from these shells here. Okay? And your broth is going to be so pretty when you finish. So I'm going to add just a little more water because I want the water to cover those shells. Because if I got extra, I save it for another time. Just like that, I added more water. Now, to bring it on the stove to a boil. So now let's make our dry while my shells are boiling. And again, here we go. This is what we're using. And I only use turmeric when I have something that has color to it. So you'll see a lot of my dishes that, with color has turmeric in it. Because I don't know. I just love turmeric. And I think it's more for like a health reason also. But again, let me get with these and we'll be back. So there's my cornstarch and my flour. Like I said, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 2½ teaspoons of cornstarch, because I have 2 cups of flour. Usually I go like 1 to 1, but today I'm just doing a little more experimenting, okay? Now I'm getting ready to put these in, all my seasonings. And like I said, I'm only using this here, ½ teaspoon here. Alright, so I'll be back and show you. So see, there we go. All of these is in here. But guys, feel free to use whatever seafood, not seafood, but anyways, spices you know you like. These are the ones that I use when I make my batter that I like. Okay? But you can use anything you want to. Salt. I don't use salt, because everything else up here has salt in it. So yeah, I'm just mixing it up. And I'm going to take some out and put it in this bowl here for my batter, my wet batter. And the wet batter is with my seafood stock I'm making, broth I'm making, okay? So I will be right back, okay? So let me mix this up and I'll come back. So here we go. And I only put in here, this is going to be for my shrimp, you know, the wet. And I only put like a ½ cup and a little bit over in here. And this is what the wet batter is going to be right here. Because I'm not doing fish and shrimp. I'm only doing shrimp. And you don't need a lot of batter, wet batter. But you need more dry than you do wet. So I'm waiting on my liquids, my broth to boil, well, you know, to finish, and then I'm going to add it in this one. Okay, so I will be back and show you guys what I'm talking about. And guys, before you add your shrimp to your wet batter, make sure your shrimp is dry. You don't I'm sorry, but you don't want no wet shrimp going in no wet batter. Make sure your shrimp is dried off, okay? Because that'll be like one watery mess. Your batter will just turn into pure water, okay? So I'm just gonna wait now for my my broth to get going, and I'll be back. So guys, here we go again. This is what I use. And if you notice, everything is mostly like Cajun, right? Except for the lemon pepper and the cayenne. But feel free to use whatever you like, guys. And you don't even have to add the cayenne pepper if you don't want to. I just add it because I like just a little bit of heat in mine. And I love that right there. Red Lobster. Oh, I love that seafood spice right there. And along with my Tony's here and my Slap Your Mama. But anyway, I'll be back and show you guys when I start making the batter, okay?